A lot of cultures over time have worshipped fire or thought of fire as both a creative and destructive force. Our society in like American Western culture, we've criminalized it. And there's something really nurturing to our intrinsic selves to being comfortable around fire and to be able to control it around your body and to understand how it hurts to be burnt. I think that it's really important that we don't lose touch with all these parts of nature that we're trying to push out as technological humans, and it's all part of who we are.
I was sitting in traffic at the Bay Bridge, commute traffic, one day, like I had done for like 9 years. And I just had this feeling like, is this all there is? Eat, sleep, work, commute. Is this it? And I kind of made a promise to myself right then and there to go looking, to pay attention to the things that moved me or interested me, because I really had no idea. It's kind of like I was dead inside. I didn't know what I wanted or liked or what I enjoyed anymore. A friend suggested out of the blue that I take a welding class. And I was like, welding? But the funny thing was, is that in junior high, I had loved metal shop. While everybody else was taking choir, I loved metal shop. So I thought, okay, let me take a look around. And it so happened that I was pointed to the Crucible. While I was looking around, they had this category of classes called fire performance. And I thought, that little thing inside me that I was trying to pay attention to went off. It never occurred to me that I could ever learn any of these things. And for some reason, the fire eating, without thinking, I just signed up for that. And it was just something I knew I had to try, even though I didn't know if I'd actually go through with it in the end. I loved it. I mean, it's funny, the intro to welded sculpture class was canceled, so I've never learned to weld. But from there, I just kept learning and found myself immersed in the fire arts community and just kept learning from people there.
I made a pair of poi out of tennis balls, and I would go to Golden Gate Park and spin them to all the drummers, and I would just practice and spin and dance, and it was awesome. My teacher was great because she had this whole thing of like, maybe you can't do the move now, you just can't do it yet. So I always had this thing in my head, okay, like that looks really hard and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it, but okay, I can't do it yet. You practice enough and you'll always get it, and that's what I did with the fire dancing. I eventually lit up. It was really beautiful. What struck me the most was the sound of the fire. When I'd seen fire dancing, I had always imagined like, oh, I wanna spin fire to this song or this music or wanna hear this music when I do it. And when I first spun fire, all I can hear is the sound of the flame.
When I first went to visit with these people, I thought, what the heck, these guys are all nuts, because they put balls on the end of socks and they practice with socks. I said, well, these guys are all nuts, with the freaking socks, and what's so cool about that? And then I went to the fire performance and I thought, wow, this is really neat. And they keep telling you about the sound, and the first time you light them, it's the sound that gets you. It's a freaking rush, the sound around your head.
Once you hear the sound of the fire spinning around your head, there's really nothing you can do to stop.
I get very excited by the fire and the sound of the fire and the grandioseness of it, I guess. The sound that the fire makes is awesome, and being able to do more with it and make people realize like you're not gonna totally hurt yourself by playing with fire necessarily.
You get over the fear after the first solid month that you start spinning fire, I feel. A lot of people, there's the instinctual fear of fire, and it's there for a reason, and you realize that pretty quickly. But you realize that unless you do something very stupid with the fire when you're first starting out, it's not very easy to burn yourself.
The best thing to do is to not be afraid of the fire. You'll make more mistakes if you're afraid of it. We have duvetine and the safety to put you out if something goes horribly wrong. But mostly, I find you can take care of the problem yourself if you're just aware. If you've set your arm on fire, you just, your pants, just brush it out.
So I've known a lot of women, or a lot of different people that have had traumatic experiences with fire, who've gotten burned, or who've had their houses burned down, and a way for them to deal with that has been fire dancing, allowing that dance to be therapy for them. Fire is a very powerful element. I think it's a way, too, that people allow themselves to conquer the fire, become friends with it. That's an extremely powerful thing to come out of that dance and out of this relationship you have with this element.
I don't know, I feel like fire is just a specific outlet for this sort of expression. There's always something that you can just work at, and that's mostly what it's about for me and for a lot of us. Just working on something, constantly improving, trying to push the limits of how far you personally can do something and how far the art itself can be pushed. That's a lot of what we work for.
The fire community is a pretty close-knit community of people. Everybody kind of knows everybody, but at the same time that everyone spins fire in very different ways.
When I first moved here, I didn't realize that there was a fire community, that there were tons of people that got together every Tuesday night in Golden Gate Park to spin fire, or all these different fire troops, and all throughout the world really, but the West Coast I feel like there's a real concentrated amount. I didn't know that existed, and it's awesome. My life has totally changed since I've moved here and since I've committed myself to that. We're all together in this fire community. We share just this common love of dancing and spinning and flowing with this element.
I feel really grateful to really have found myself to the heart of the community, especially here in the Bay. Getting to be around people who understand the world in a similar way that I do and understand these hobbies in a similar way that I do are all around great people. They're really supportive and want everyone, all of us, to be happy and do what they want to do.
And that's what you look at. In life, you look for people, it doesn't matter what the age is, you look for people that like to do the same thing that you like to do, and then all of a sudden you get the thing called friendship and love.
I have at least one day job. I teach math after school to kindergarten through 12th graders.
I'm here training to be a professional circus performer.
I'm a year away from completing a program to become an acupuncturist.
I work on the weekends entertaining kids for birthday parties.
I make flow toys, and I am a Spanish student at City College in San Francisco.
I'm an executive assistant at an entertainment technology company.
I'm a writer.
I do income taxes.
The day job is really just to pay the bills. I mean, I sort of realized recently that I moved across the country away from all of my friends and all my family to live in a warehouse and spend all my time sitting around. Like, the only people I interact with in my free time are jugglers and spinners, almost exclusively. And all of my free time is spent talking about or practicing or thinking about or watching videos about object manipulations. And so I guess it's sort of taken over my whole life.
Oh, if somebody told me I couldn't do this anymore, I don't know. It even kind of chokes me up thinking about it. I don't know what I would do. I think I would I don't think it's possible.